Hello, Librarian Alex, and today's book, The Secret of the Egg. Now, this is not a storybook. It is a non-fiction book, which means it's a book about facts, about real things, about eggs. It's written by Nicola Davies, who is not only an author, but a zoologist, which means she has studied animals. And so almost all of her books, which some of them are storybooks, chapter books, picture books, but also information books, they normally always feature animals. And the vibrant, colourful pictures are by Abbie Cameron. So I hope you enjoy them. Now, this book is written like a rhyming poem. So I'm going to read the book all the way through, but she doesn't tell you what any of the eggs are, from which animals they come. So we're going to then read the book a second time, or look at it, and see if we can identify the animals. Are you ready? I think I've told you before how much I like end papers. That's this page that sticks the cover to the body of the book. And this one has all these images of all different eggs, different sizes, different shapes, different textures. Maybe by the end of the book we could identify some of them. It says, this book belongs to, maybe I should put my name in it. This is a new book actually, I only discovered it a few months ago. So it's really lovely when you discover a new book. Oh, and it's published by Graffeg, which it's kind of like got egg in its name. I'd like to say thank you for letting me read this book. Now what animal is that? Do you recognise? It's a kind of bird, isn't it? And there it is, just with the egg cracking and its beak coming out, and out it comes. Wow, look at that one. Incredible dark green colour, and so big you need 2 hands to hold it. An egg is how so many stories on our earth begin, and each one hides the secret of the life it holds within. Egg hunt this way. Can you see that? You ready? Let's go. Wow, look at this shelf full of them. It might be plain or speckled, red or white or blue. Perhaps not even egg-shaped, but like a fat corkscrew. It could be like a button, or a purse, or a melon pip, or even like a teeny tiny alien spaceship. And that picture there is what she can see under her microscope. So it's a microscopic egg. It might be squishy like jelly, or tougher than a shoe, smoother than a china cup, or stickier than glue. Ooh, bit sticky, those ones. Some of these later on I think you'll be able to guess what the animal is. But we'll do that when we look through the book again. Almost big enough for football, or smaller than a pin. No egg can ever tell you what it hides within. Can you see? He's in the leaves. It's a red frog. Oh, giving that one away. An egg might be in a puddle that's high up in a tree, or buried underneath the sand, or in the big blue sea. It might be safe inside a nest that's messy, or quite neat, or balanced on Daddy's very slowly shuffling feet. Can you see the egg there? And there's snow around here, which is a clue. And we've got A, B, C. Now that picture A has got loads of teeny, 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 tiny fish, and then 2, and then the last one growing up. It might be one of millions, or laid all on its own. It could be cared for carefully, or simply left alone. It could be in a pouch, or in a mouth, or in a tummy, belonging to its daddy, not its ever-loving mummy. And look, that girl is sat on the computer looking through at eggs hatching, which is something I did to try and find out what some of the animals in this book were. Bird or fish or platypus. With eggs they all begin, but no egg can ever tell you what it holds within. And there, look, there she is drawing. So maybe that's Abbie Cameron, the illustrator, and there she is actually drawing the pictures for this book, and that definitely is a platypus and a platypus baby. For days, or weeks, or even months, eggs never say a word. But at last there comes a day when their voices can be heard. Crick! A quack, a crack, a rip, a pop. There they are all hatching. Now they no longer hide the start of all those stories that the egg held safe inside. So it's revealed, isn't it? Do you remember that egg in the beginning? The very large, dark green egg. We now know what it is. Well, can you guess? And then at the end of the book, it's got a puzzle to finish. So you've got these different animals over here, and you have to guess which of these kind of eggs they belong to. So that one's on a leaf, and little tiny speckles. Can you see that one? And then we've got that kind of purse pod shaped one. Then we've got a nest with white eggs in it, and this one's in water. And these are kind of more round, piled up eggs. I think maybe on Earth somewhere. And these are the options. Looks to me like we've got a bird that could be a hummingbird. We've got a frog. We've got an alligator, a butterfly, and a kind of shark. So which do you think is which? Aha, I'm just going to leave that picture there. And then maybe underneath this video, I could put the answers, but it gives you a chance to try and guess. But you can actually trace. I'll leave that there. You can trace. You could pause this video and then try and trace where each one goes. But I'm not going to give you the answers. You can work it out. Now, so I said the idea was to read this book again, all over again. Now, this book has taught me quite a few things, because when I read it the first time, I could probably identify about half of the eggs, but the other half I didn't know, and I had to look them up and search and find. And you could do that on the internet too. So if you want to do that, you can stop this video now and find out for yourself. But actually, we're going to go through it again if you want to, and see if we can work out what the animals are. So let's back to the beginning. Now, I actually recognise that fella, because I've seen him actually live. I went to a farm where they had this animal. And do you know what that egg is? It's the egg that looks like a football, or is big enough to be a football. It's an ostrich. And actually, I've got one here, because I didn't tell you in the beginning that I really, really, really love eggs. Look at that. you could play catch with that, and it's really hard. You could, sometimes people used to use these as kind of drinking vessels. You could pour your drink, you've got the hole there, you could pour your drink in and use it. So that is a real, genuine ostrich egg. Ooh. Actually, it makes an echoing sound when I put my voice in that hole. Anyway, okay. Sorry, this is going to take forever if I take this long for each one. So that is an ostrich. Did you know that one? Right, I'm going to wait for this one till the end, and I did have to look this one up on the computer. Now, do you know what this spiral that you'd find on the seashore is? So it's a kind of fish, and she calls it a corkscrew. It's actually a shark. It's, it's a horn shark. Now, I have got my own shark egg that I found on the beach on the south coast of England. I've got one here. Can you see that? It's got these curly bits coming off of it. They say it's a bit like a purse. It's, I think it's like a cat shark. And a catfish shark. I can't remember what you call it. And I've actually, I know, I'll show you that in a minute. So that's what that is. That is an empty shark egg. And they often wash up on the beach. Now, I'm going to have to take a guess here. This one that looks like a button, again, I think I know what it is, and I do have it. I think it's a bumblebee. Now, bumblebees make nests on their own. The mother bumblebee just makes a nest on her own and on the ground often, and lays her eggs. And this, can you see that? They look like kind of maybe buttons stuck together. Don't know if the light is on there properly. I found this in my garden. I had a bumblebee nest. I saved it because it's incredible. And if you shake it, it rattles. So it must still have some kind of old eggs left in it. Ah, and here we are, the purse. Now sometimes these, again, they're washed up on the seashore, and people used to call them mermaids' purses, as if the mermaids underwater had a purse to keep their keys and their money in. And this one here, again, I found on a beach. Can you see that? That is, it's very like that one, isn't it? It's very like this one here. I think it's a kind of ray, like an ungulate ray or something like that, the kind of ray fish that swim off of the south coast of England. Now this one, I don't know. I have no idea what it is. So if someone can find out and tell me, I'd love to know. It says it looks a bit like a melon pip. It's kind of got a hole, it looks like a hole in it, or it could be a black spot. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to write a letter to Nicola Davies and ask her to tell me. And also, I don't know this one. It's extraordinary. It does look like an alien, doesn't it? And it must be extremely small. Don't know what it is. Let's try and find out together. Now, you all know what this is. It's a frog, and it lays frog spawn. It's all squishy and squashy. And that lives in the water, and then they grow into tadpoles, and then eventually they grow their legs and they can come out onto land. Now this one, tough rubbery eggs, this one. I think it's some kind of reptile, maybe an alligator. There's a little head poking out there, and these claws make me think it's a crocodile, an alligator, something like that. Or smoother than a china cup, this one, and that wing there. It's definitely a bird, and birds that lay perfectly white eggs like that, quite small. I don't know, maybe a hummingbird? What do you think? Now, sticky eggs. I had to look this one up. I guessed that it was a kind of lizard, and it is a kind of lizard, but it's a special lizard called a gecko. And gecko lay sticky eggs so that they can kind of attach and be wedged in places. So that's what I reckon. And he's got those kind of webbed feet like that. So I'm pretty sure that's a gecko. Oh, and we're back to the football. The lovely ostrich. Here it is again. Looks pretty similar, hey? Or smaller than a pin. So these tiny ones, so if you look on here, we've got some eggs laid under that leaf there and eggs laid here. Now they could be any manner of insects, really. There's loads of aphids and bugs that you could find in your garden. Maybe if you look under the leaves of plants, if you have a garden or in the park, you'll find these little insect eggs. Ooh. Now, I already said that's a frog. It's a very special frog that lives high up in the tree in a rainforest. It's called an Amazon tree frog. You might have learned about them at school. Often kids at school learn about them. They're incredible animals. Imagine being born way up top of a tree. And what animals bury their eggs in the sand? Do you know? I think maybe a turtle. Tortoise, that's the other one. Tortoises. Now I'm hoping all of you recognise that fish. Can you see him peeking through there and all his eggs? That's a Nemo fish, a bit like the movie. There he is. Fantastic colours. And then we've got our birds' nests. Now I have no idea what that messy nest is. Could be any of a multitude of birds, but that one I do know, that very neat. Can you see it's got a hole at the bottom and then this incredible kind of tower spire going up? That's a weaver bird. They are incredible architects. They make these beautiful nests. If you're ever lucky enough to see one for real, it's beautiful. And I hope you all know who this is. With an egg on their feet to stop it touching the ice and the snow. A penguin! And that's one of the other ones where it's the dad that looks after the egg for a long time. Goes hungry for about 3 months. Now fish lay millions of eggs in a go. And that one looks to me like a puffer fish. They've got those spikes. And then other animals just lay one. Now most birds lay a couple of eggs at a time, but this one just lays one egg. And those pink webbed feet indicate to me it might be an albatross, a very noble and famous bird that flies over the sea. So I think that's an albatross. Come on, tell me what that is. Yep, it's a snake. Now this one is the one that leaves the egg. This mother goes, lays her eggs in the sand by the sea, goes off back to the ocean and leaves the eggs all on their own. And they have to look after themselves from the day that they hatch. And that little animal there is a turtle. Very brave little animal. What is that? I admit I had to look it up. Because it looks a bit like a hedgehog, but it's not a hedgehog because hedgehogs don't lay eggs. So this animal lays an egg and keeps it in a pouch. It's one of the only 2 mammals that lay eggs. And it's I think it's, oh no, I've forgotten the name now. I know it's called a spiky anteater, but is it an echidna? Oh no, I've forgotten already. I only just looked it up. Maybe one of you could correct me. Have a look for it. Spiky anteater is its common name. Now these guys are both dads who look after the baby eggs. And that's a Darwin's frog. And that's a, you know what that is, seahorse. He actually keeps the baby frogs in his mouth. That is dedication. And I think we're at the end now. There we see, can you see in that one, that's actually the shark growing inside of that egg, and there it has come out. And that's the ostrich, baby ostrich, and there's the baby platypus. And that's all of them, except there was one missing, wasn't there? But we've got these ones. Oh look, there's the turtle. But the missing one at the end, this incredible green one, and then the baby bird is coming out and it's kind of got this speckled, mottled feather plumage. It's an emu that live in Australia. I would so love to see one of those for real and see the egg. What an incredible coloured egg, and imagine that cracking out. Beautiful. So I have learned loads from this book. Looking at that end paper at the end, I reckon that one there's the shark. I think that one might be the bumblebee. These are bird eggs. Frog spawn. Frog spawn. The others, I don't know. There's so much to find out in the world. I hope you have enjoyed this information book. It's actually part of a series. I think this is number 4 in a series of 6 rhyming books all about animals. So if you like this, maybe look up some of the others. Enjoy your egg hunt. And see you soon. Bye.